our next stop would just be this plot of grass right here. And that's because not all of Harvard's buildings are still standing today. And perhaps the best example of that would be what was called the Indian College. Upon its founding in 1636, Harvard actually struggled financially. So they reached out to religious groups in England for aid. And in exchange for aid, they agreed to establish what they called the Indian College and teach 5 Native American students the English language and the Puritan religion. The first and unfortunately only graduate from the Indian College was Caleb Chesatumuk. Of the 4 remaining students, some ended up leaving and others ended up dying from disease, which was common at the time. The Harvard University Native American program later placed this plaque on the side of Matthews Hall in 1997 to honor the memories of the students from the Indian College. And they also created a land acknowledgement that acknowledges that Harvard is on the sacred and ancestral ground of the Massachusetts people, who were the original inhabitants of what is now known as Boston and Cambridge. Despite its very short history of only about 40 years, artifacts from the Indian College, which was torn down due to disrepair in 1698, do still exist today. And there's actually an anthropology course at Harvard, which happens about every 3 years. And fun fact, really fun courses like the one I'm about to describe typically happen every 3 years, just in case a student came to Harvard to take that course, to make sure everyone gets to take it if they want to. But this course will dig up Harvard Yard and look for artifacts from the Indian College. So about every 3 years, there'll just be a bunch of holes all over Harvard Yard. Maybe not a good time to visit, but it happens. And when they do find artifacts, they frequently donate it to the Peabody Museum of Archaeology and Ethnography, which is a really good museum at Harvard. I'd recommend visiting that, and it's right by the Natural History Museum, which has lots of cool animals in it, or displays of animals. And now we can walk just about a minute over to our next stop.
They sort people into the houses after the freshman. Is it random or they try to get it? Gender.
People can kind of influence it if they want to by choosing a certain amount of people to live with, because